once again, we say warm welcome to all the ladies and gentlemen in our audience. And we say a big thank you for joining us today again. This is the final session of our Going Digital Nigeria webinar series. We've been on it for 7 weeks now. This is the 7th week. And today we'll be talking about going digital agriculture. So thank you for sticking with us throughout this week and for signing up, every Wednesday unfailingly. So we really appreciate that. And we say a big thank you to our panelists, powerful women on the panel. Coincidentally, when we started the first session we had an all-male panelist. So now we're having an all-female panelist, like the 7th session, and I believe 7 is also a sign of perfection. So we really thank God, and we thank everyone who has supported us this far, and to our team at VM for all the hard work and all the coordination. I really say a big thank you to my partner Magnus, who is also here supporting me and whom I have supported through his own section. We say a very big thank you. And we say good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're coming or signing in from, in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria. Thank you so much. You're welcome once again. So my name is Vivian Chigozie-Nmonwu. I'm a partner and co-founder at VM Professional Solutions. VM is a tech-focused tax audit and advisory services firm. And we use digital technology basically to do a whole lot of things to support businesses from end-to-end with their end-to-end business processes in combination with traditional accounting, tax, and audit, and other business support services. So today, like I said earlier, we're going to be treating going digital agriculture, and we're going to be talking about how farming has been during this pandemic, during the lockdown, after the lockdown, because the filters from the previous sections we had, gave us an indication that actually some farmers, the farmers' curve was like high-low, high before the lockdown when everybody was rushing to buy foodstuff and everything. And then during the lockdown, people now stop buying a whole lot, and people are even hesitant to go out much or go into the market, to buy. But yet we know that people are eating. So we don't know how it has been for farmers, whether they have workers that actually volunteer or are able or are willing to still go to farms, and how do they move their produce to the market? How has it been? Or what can help? What other things have helped? Because people must adapt to changing situations and make the best out of it. So what have they adapted to? What methods have they adopted? Is technology part of it? And what can technology do as well to help? Because this program of ours is focused on technology, but we know there are lots of things that technology cannot help. So like we made a joke in the previous section, like, can we use robots to be farming or to be manufacturing, or places where human beings could have been, but because of the restrictions, they are not. So, but that was a joke, but in reality, something can actually come out of it. So we now want to know live what is going on in the agri and food sector. And here with us as our panelists are, like I said before, experts in the field. We have Umunna from Nourishing Africa. We have Adaeze Usoh from Babban, Gona. We have Habeebat, who is also an agripreneur and who has farms of our own and a farming business, and who is part of a thriving group that is called Young Farmers Association in Nigeria, and then Farming and Agric Network in Nigeria. They have over 120-something thousand memberships combined, and the group is thriving on Facebook. If you search them, you will see them, and she's one of the admins. So you can see we have powerful young women on our panel, and we say a big thank you once again. So to start off in earnest, I'll be sharing my screen. So, and we'll talk about some house rules. So we're here to collaborate most importantly, and the VM upholds collaboration over competition. So please drop a chat to talk about your business, what you're doing, your business goals, so that you can also network with other people on the audience. Then If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand and we'll get to you. We'll give time after each panelist takes her own session. We'll give time for questions and answers or comments, if any. Then feel free to also tag us on social media to share the program, to make a hype out of it. Or you can send the email to clients@vi-m.com if you have other comments or questions that you wouldn't want to post here. So thank you so much once again. I'm now going to go into the session proper and I'll yield the floor to our panelists. So the first panelist is Umunna, like I said. I'm going to introduce now. Umunna is the program lead for the Nourishing Africa initiative. Nourishing Africa has a mission to attract, empower, equip, connect, and celebrate over 1 million dynamic and innovative young entrepreneurs who will drive the profitable and sustainable growth of the African agriculture and food landscapes. IFI has international experience in gender, maternal, and adolescent health and nutrition experience from the Partnership for Maternal, Newborn, and Adolescent Health at WHO, Geneva, Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, London, and Girl Effect, Abuja. She previously served as a research officer at African Philanthropy Forum and the gender analyst for the Nigerian Dairy Development Project, NDDP, at Sahel. We all know Sahel Consulting is also an associate, a related company to Nourishing Africa. If you have a bachelor in social science, in international relations, sociology, and gender and transformation, first class, from the University of Cape Town, South Africa, and a master's in international development with honors from the University of Warwick, UK. She will share insights into how the food and agriculture sector is navigating the COVID-19 pandemic and how digitization of agricultural processes can help. Case study of her experiences at Nourishing Africa, also business and trade success tips for new and existing players in the food and agriculture sectors in Africa. Ify, we welcome you. And I know you have quite a whole lot of experiences at Nourishing Africa, because if you go to the website, they operate through this website, nourishingafrica.com. If you go to this website, there are loads and loads, in fact, so many things you find there. If you are a farmer or you're in the food business, I don't think you need to be elsewhere. So if he's going to share her own experiences at Nourishing Africa to enlighten other people in our audience and other entrepreneurs who are interested in agri and food sector in Nigeria. So if you are now going to stop sharing and I'll talk to you. Thank you once again for being here with us.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here and thank you for having me. Before I start, let me just share my screen so we can see the same thing. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite. And today I'm just going to take you through Nourishing Africa, but more broadly agriculture. We're going to discuss an overview, since I'm starting off, just an overview of the agriculture and food landscape in Nigeria, the various challenges entrepreneurs are facing, and I'm going to do this from the perspective of MSMEs entrepreneurs, because those are the people and the stakeholders that I work with directly on a regular basis. And then from there, we'll discuss transformations, tech and innovations within the sector, as well as Nourishing Africa. So to begin, there's really no reason why Nigeria and Africa as a whole should not be the breadbasket and thriving agriculture and food hub of the world. When you look at the statistics, we are naturally endowed for agricultural excellence. The amount of people that work within the sector, both in Nigeria and across the continent, there is an abundance of wealth and rich value that comes from the agriculture sector. But unfortunately, hunger still kills more people than AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria combined. And when we look into why this is the case, or some drivers as to this, we realize that MSMEs, which are classified as the hidden middle, or often referred to as the hidden middle, are the pillars of the agriculture and food landscape. So 80% of the food we consume is handled by private sector operators, which are these MSMEs, and they essentially drive the sector. But unfortunately, they're rarely supported. When we look at intervention and policies, they're not in their favor. And this is a key issue as to why we're currently not actualizing our potential. And more specifically, these entrepreneurs continuously face issues such as lack of funding, lack of funding, lack of or poor access to markets, difficulty finding talent, insufficient business models, limited access to data, unfavorable policies, weak grants, and aspects such as that. So in saying this, and within these challenges in particular, COVID-19 has not only made us realize that these challenges are clear to the general public, but they've exacerbated these issues. So we've seen that on the Nourishing Africa site, which I'll discuss later, we have a section that's dedicated to COVID-19, as well as the work of entrepreneurs within the sector during this time. And we have a section where entrepreneurs can detail and document their experiences during this period. And we've seen that the challenges brought about by COVID-19 have been negative for the most part for most people, and I'll discuss that later on. So when we look at agribusinesses in the wake of COVID-19, there are a few issues and issues that we need to resolve. Food.
Okay, thank you, Ify, for that insightful presentation. You know, there's just, like I said before you started, there's just so much you guys are doing at Nourishing Africa, and we say, you know, keep it up, well done. Would you like share your experiences with these farmers in your network within this COVID-19, like since the COVID-19 started? Can you share your experiences of what has happened, how they've leveraged your platform, your interactions with any of these people, and how your platform and all these initiatives have helped them? You know, and how many people actually, second question is, how many of these farmers actually leverage technology like common line? Do they have the data, the internet facilities, or do they actually know that this kind of thing exists? So please, just, those are the two questions from me before we check whether the audience has posted anything. So thanks once again.
Thank you. So where we work is very much farm to fork. So we have farmers in our midst, but we also work with food processors, retailers, aggregators, logistics, and the whole value chain. And what we find is that you would be surprised with how many of these stakeholders are engaged with tech and innovation. Something as simple as WhatsApp, a lot of people use, even farmers that you think, oh, they don't have access to. They do have access to phones. It might not be an iPhone or a Samsung, but what we find really interesting and inspiring and what keeps us our hopes alive is that you see new smartphones coming up, technos and the likes, that are accessible and affordable to many of these stakeholders. So we deal with a range of them, including farmers. But what we saw, which was quite devastating in the beginning, is that almost 50% of our members had to temporarily shut down or shut down for the foreseeable future as a result of, sorry, one moment. Apologies. For the foreseeable future, because of the fact that they were unable to continue during the crisis, either because they weren't able to source their raw materials or their inputs, or they weren't able to reach their customers. So as a result, we think that the ones that actually survived were the ones that either had tech and innovation incorporated into their business models before COVID-19, or could quickly pivot their business models in such a way that they were able to continue their operations at either half capacity or full capacity.
Well, thank you, Ife. Then on the area of funding, you talked about funding and how you ask the stakeholders and people who come in, prospective beneficiaries, do they have good financials? Because, okay, that's my field, so sorry I'm bringing it up. So do they have good financials? Do they actually keep records of what they do, crop farming, livestock farming, then other chains, the value chains in the agricultural sector? Do these people actually have, what's the percentage from your experience of people who come through and those who have proper structures, proper financial structures?
So what we see quite often is the people that continuously get funding from various sources are the ones that have their books in order, that have their papers in order, that have their financials audited on a frequent basis. It is quite sad. Most, or no, I won't say most, we'll say at least half of the small businesses, particularly when starting up, do not have the right financials and do not have their books in order to actually go through the due diligence phase or process of getting finance without it becoming a problem. And what we advocate quite strongly is it's very important that at the moment in which you decide that you're going to start your business, you need to start figuring out how are you going to ensure that your books are in order from day one. And I think one of the big misconceptions is that those seeking funding often think, okay, they'll only look through my books from when I became big, or when I've blown, or when things are in order. And that's not the case. They look at your books from day one. So it's very important that you have things in order, that you don't have outstanding issues in your financials. And I think that's one of the big issues that entrepreneurs are facing.
So do they also face this same challenge when they apply for grants?
Yes.
Or is it just relating to loans?
No, grants as well, because at the end of the day, when you're getting a grant, those providing the grants have to do the same due diligence as
Yes.
those providing loans.
To find out if the money will be put to good use, whether the person is bankable. Yeah. Okay. So we also have two more questions. I hope, can you hear me? Am I clear or am I breaking?
I can hear you.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So we have two more questions on the Q&A tab for Ife. Oluyemi Akinfewa is asking, what is digital access for farmers and how can other entrepreneurs tap into this?
So it ranges, and it's not just Nourishing Africa that's providing this information and these tools, but they're ranging from tutorial videos to help with extension services in your local language that can be sent via WhatsApp or via a text message to the phones of these farmers to provide them with technical assistance and tools as to best practices, how to ensure that you're optimizing your productivity and aspects such as that. And the best or the most effective of these kinds of trainings are short videos in local languages delivered to their phones. We've seen that is quite efficient and able to easily accessible. We have others ranging from, it's particularly in a time like COVID-19 where it's really hard to get onto the field. We've provided or enabled various ways and mechanisms for us to access farmers and other stakeholders through phones and tech. We've seen that entrepreneurs are also able to, or farmers are also able to access different means of information and services through their phones. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, when you think of tech and innovation and farmers, it is phones, or as opposed to project that might be being delivered by an organization that might have the funds and the resources, and then providing the farmers these other tools and such as irrigation or inputs that will help them with advancing their use of tech on the farms and on the field.
Okay, thank you so much. The second question is from Dr. Adeboyega Afolabi. He's saying, does Nourishing Africa have presence in Abeokuta and Ogun states? Do you cover those areas? Actually, you're online. So
Yes,
do you cover those areas?
We do. We cover the whole of Africa. So we have priorities. We have 14 priority countries. Nigeria is one of them. So we do cover Abeokuta, and I'd be more than happy to type in my email address. And if there's anything we'd like to discuss further, we can do that.
Thank you, Ify. Then, do you have people in your network who are disturbed by headsmen?
Yes. However, how they mitigate it is, or how they have been affected is not yet known, or we haven't seen the current effects. It happens in stages or batches, as you may know, but how that is affecting their productivity, their output, the overall progress, we haven't seen much data on that. We hear about it in the news, we hear about it online, but we're still waiting to see the outcome.
So thank you, Ify. So we've all heard it, nourishingafrica.com, and the team behind the website is not just the website, but a full organization that works to help farmers in Africa, or those the stakeholders in the food and agricultural sector. So you have it, you have expert advisory, you have learning, you have jobs, you have the network, you have platform to meet other farmers, you have mentors, you have funding. And so lots and lots of resources for you to tap into as somebody in the food and agri sector in Africa, and they cover everywhere because it's online, so you can actually reach out from anywhere. So thank you, Ify. So we're now going to go into the second session with Adaeze Usoh, another special, Babban Gona is an organization that I think everybody knows quite well, and they are doing great things in the food and agri sector as well. They've also won many awards, and Adaeze Usoh is the head corporate finance at Babban Gona. And they are doing quite a lot to help farmers, especially in northern Nigeria. So I'm now going to read out Adaeze's profile. Adaeze Usoh is a principal in the corporate finance team at Babban Gona, an award-winning, high-impact, financially sustainable, and highly scalable social enterprise, partly owned by the farmers they serve. Babban Gona was specifically created to attract youth to agriculture and away from the looming instability of extremist groups. Adaeze is a financial industry professional with over 10 years of global investment advisory, investment management, and consulting experience. Started her career with Willis Towers Watson UK as an investment analyst, and has advised trustee boards of some of the largest FTSE 100 companies. She has worked at Codrus Capital and Codrus Asset Management, and at Convergent Advisors, focusing specifically on agricultural and banking sectors. She holds BSc in Applied Business Management and an MSc in International Management, both from London. In this webinar, she will share insights as how digitization of processes, financial and all, can help boost agricultural and farming businesses in Nigeria, with a case study of Babban Gona's experiences. Also, other business success tips for new farmers to start and existing farmers to thrive in their businesses amidst the peculiar Nigerian challenges and the COVID-19. So Adaeze, welcome once again. Babban Gona also has a website, babbangona.com. Am I right? Yes. And
yes,
if you go, you'll find a whole lot of resources as well to help you. So it's a digital platform as well, making it, also the best place to go when we're looking for advice on how digitization has helped farmers. So Adaeze will share her experiences at Babban Gona and what they have been doing to help farmers, and how they've been farming business and the agricultural business generally has been in Nigeria and in the areas where they cover. So I yield the floor to you, Adaeze. You can also share your screen now, so I'll stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Vivian. Thank you for the kind words. Let me just quickly share my screen. All right, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adaeze Usoh, and I'm from Babban Gona. It's a pleasure to participate in this webinar today. Thank you so much to the VN team for extending this invitation to us. In the next few minutes, I will be speaking to you about Babban Gona, explaining who we are, why we do what we do, and how we do what we do. Specifically focusing on how we digitize our process to boost our members' farming success. So the name Babban Gona means great farm in Hausa. And we are a high impact agri franchise model, part owned by the farmers that we serve. Since inception 9 years ago, we have consistently increased the yields of our members to 2 times the national average. We have increased their net incomes to 2.5 times the national average. And we have grown 7x over this time. We've cumulatively supported 100,000 members, and we've impacted an additional 400,000 individuals in the local communities in which we operate. So why do we do what we do? And this is simply to solve what we believe to be Nigeria and the broader region's most serious challenge, and that is spiraling insecurity. Spiraling insecurity that's driven by tremendous growth in youth unemployment. Roughly 20 million youth entered the workforce between 1990 and 2010, causing general unemployment to double in the 5 years leading up to 2010. Youth employment rose to over 60%, and this led to 3 insurgencies, being Boko Haram, the Niger Delta crisis, as well as the Kaduna crisis. So the unfortunate reality is that as oxygen is to fire, so are unemployed youth to insurgencies. Statistics indicate that 4 times the number of youth will enter the workforce in the next 20 years. That's 80 million, a population size of Germany, essentially. So if 20 million people created through insurgencies, we can only imagine what 80 million people will do. There is an urgent need to create jobs to service this population. There is a solution, and we believe that agriculture is that solution. Agriculture being the job creation engine. So Nigeria is blessed with a lot of favorable resources that make us a good climate for agriculture. As Ife alluded to, we have 85 million hectares of arable land. We have 2 of the 8 major river systems in Africa. We have ample rainfall. We also have a large untouched water table. And most importantly, we have a large domestic market in terms of consumption and labor. However, farmers are typically seen to be low income earners. And the key reason for this is because smallholders are highly fragmented and they suffer from low economies of scale. And these low economies of scale are trapping them in a cycle of poverty. Our strategy at Babban Gona is to use a cooperative structure to gain economies of scale for our members. We leverage market forces by investing in businesses that will increase smallholder profitability and ultimately attract more young people into the sector. So at Babban Gona, what we do is to grow dreams. Thank you much for listening, and I'm open to any questions.
So thank you, Adaeze, for that insightful session once again. So essentially, what Babban got in environment, including lands, right? Please correct me if I'm techniques, the guidance, the human resources, the financial management, the inputs, quality inputs, and the market for farmers, right?
So do not provide land, but everything else that you've mentioned, we do provide. Farmers own their own land. And what they do is they register with us, and we just support them with the key services and inputs that they need to make that land productive and profitable.
So how has it been like during this COVID-19? Are they thriving? These farmers, are they still farming? Are they still doing agriculture? How has it been like?
So our farmers have been, they've been quite engaged during this period. I think they're very much particularly interested in continuing their farming operations, and they have all the energy, I suppose, and all the and what they need from us is really the support to make that happen. So I think where the shortfall has come is more around providing them with those key services and key inputs that they need. But as far as whether or not they're willing and able, yes, they certainly are. Can they access all the inputs that they need? That's where the challenge may arise.
Yeah. So thank you. Let's go to the floor and see if we have any questions. And Joseph Ajebwa is asking, what does it take to be part of Babban Gona?
So we operate in, as I mentioned, six states in northern Nigeria. Our smallholders are based in those regions. So essentially, if you have a plot of land in one of those areas, you can register with Babban Gona to join our credit program, and then you will be enrolled into a trust group, or you can become a trust group leader yourself. Alternatively, you can also become one of our franchisees, in which you will have farmers under you and you have trust groups under you. So there are different ways in which you can join them.
Yeah, thank you. Another question by the same Joseph. He's asking, is it only in the north that you operate for now?
Yes, currently we only operate in the north for now, but we have been rapidly expanding over the years. We started our operations in one state back in 2012, and last year we were operating in 5 states. This year we've expanded to include an additional state. So we're looking to diversify and expand geographically into other regions in the nation.
Okay, thanks, Adaeze. So would you, okay, let me give myself for example. I'm also thinking of, okay, can I use the spare lands that we have for agriculture, or should I use it for real estate? So I'm like, what would you encourage me to do, considering the COVID-19 and all the impact and all the, should I say, blockages or obstacles in the way of getting food or getting output? Would you encourage someone like me to go into farming, and what should I look at? What should I do differently within this COVID-19 so that I can succeed if and when I decide to go into it?
So in making a decision when it comes to where to channel your resources, I think it's very important to fully assess the risks of any industry you're getting into. So when looking at agriculture versus real estate, for example, it's important to really take the time and do the research to consider what are the risks and opportunities that lie in sectors and are available to you. And I think it's at that point that you'll be fully informed enough to make a decision to understand, based on your own unique financial situation, you'll be informed enough to know, where to channel your efforts. Now, speaking specifically to agriculture and whether it is, profitable and a good way to invest your money, it certainly is. But you really do have to know what you're doing. So I think that, if you're willing to put in the time to, learn the practices that you need to, so that's, where we focus quite heavily is on the training side. So focus on the time to build up your agronomic skills, understanding, down to the level of, what crop am I going to plant, understanding the demand and supply dynamics that are going on in the country that guide your decision, understanding what specific considerations you have to take account of in the regions in which you operate. For example, the nutritional content of the soil in the south versus the north. Will it be sufficient enough for the crop that you focus on? Also understanding, your financial constraints as well. Where's your access to credit coming from? Is it affordable? And based on the interest rates that you're receiving or your opportunity costs, is it wise to put your money into agriculture? And then finally, also looking at your access to markets. So do you have an off-taker for this product? That's also very important. It's all well and good to be productive, but you also have to be profitable. So ensuring that you have off-takers and your output is competitive in the market.
Yeah, thank you, Adaeze. So the last question from me, sorry, I was going to ask, can you please elaborate on the financial management services or guidance or support I give to the farmers?
So on the financial side, what we do is to de-risk our farmers essentially. So a farmer would, if a farmer is going to access credit from a microfinance bank or a commercial bank, I think we can say they would either be turned away or get a very high interest rate. So by coming through us, we're able to de-risk them by kind of monitoring the entire process of their business activities from the pre-planting stage down to the post-harvest stage. We have maximum control and oversight of each of those activities. So we're able to get a really good look into the investment that is being put into this farm and control it and monitor it. And in doing that, we can guarantee that farmer. So we would, stand in their stead and access credit for them from other lenders, concessionary lenders. And we offer this credit as a pass-through from the institutional lenders to us, to the end user, being the smallholder farmer.
So you sort of provide oversight to make sure that that loan is used for the purpose and that the business is profitable.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you, Adaeze. We have two people from the audience who have their hands raised. Would you mind if I admit them? They probably want to ask questions.
Sure.
Okay. So we're going to admit you, Oluranti Olubusoye. Please, can you go ahead and ask your question? Okay, let's just admit the next person, Nanzing Rimdan. So we're going to unmute Nanzing now. Please go ahead and ask your question. Hello? Nanzing, yeah. Okay, so please go ahead and ask your question or make your comment.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. I've been going through the program and been listening, quite interesting. The presentation from all the speakers. personally don't have any question, and just to say well done for the work done, and continue to intensify your efforts. The farming aspect of it is quite interesting because I myself am a farmer. Small scale, just to put my knowledge of those various crops that I grow into some good use, keeping the locals in the village also busy, at least to put their own food on the table. So I really commend you guys and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
very
So
much.
do you have any tips for us? What has worked?
I didn't get that.
Hello, I think Vivian's question is, do you have any tips for us? What has worked for you in your small scale farming that you can share with members of the audience today?
Well, it's giving the workforce a sense of ownership. They own the business, they own the farms, they take care of it like it's their own, even though there's a supervisory role put in place. So I think giving them that sense of ownership gives them or makes them more committed to the inputs. So I think for whatever endeavor, we try to let's try and get the workers know that no, they are part of the business, they own it, the outcome is mostly for their benefits. I think that goes a long way.
Okay, thank you very much. Vivian, are you back?
Yes, I am back. Thank you so much. I think my network is acting up. So sorry about that. So we're now going to go into Habeebat's section, the last section for today.
Before we take Habeebat, so that I can ask one question to Adaeze. Adaeze, when you started, I missed the comment you made about the literal interpretation of the word Babban Gona. You want to take that again for my benefit and benefit of one or two people who also joined shortly before you started your presentation?
Sure, no problem. So Babban Gona means great farm in Hausa.
Great farm.
All right,
Yeah.
great farm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Adaeze, please, can you help stop sharing so I can share? Okay, thank you. So here we go. So Habeebat is a member of Nigeria Young Farmers Group and the Farming and Agriculture Network of Nigeria. That's FAAN actually. Bamidele Habeebat Yetunde is a final year student of agriculture at the University of Ilorin. She's also an agropreneur, a vegetable farmer, and an agricultural enthusiast. She's a serial volunteer and a member of the Nigeria Young Farmers Group and the Farming and Agriculture Network of Nigeria. Both groups focus to help young farmers who are willing to learn new farming techniques, creating a platform to share experience and challenges, ask questions relating to their farms, and in turn get possible advice from other farmers or professionals who might have been in a similar situation. She's very passionate about sustainable agriculture in Nigeria and will love to partner with like minds in achieving this goal. She will share insights today from her personal experiences about what the farming business has been like since the COVID-19 broke out in Nigeria till now, how farmers are doing, good or bad, and how technology or digital platforms and groups, case study of Nigeria Young Farmers Group and the Farming and Agriculture Network has or can help farmers through the pandemic and beyond. She will also share thoughts on whether she will encourage other young people to go into farming at this time and why. So Habeebat, I'm yielding the floor to you. Thank you for joining us once again. Please go ahead with your section.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you for having me, Vivian. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Yes, we can.
Can anyone hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll be sharing my insights on how farming business has been during this pandemic. So for me, this pandemic has been an opportunity to improve my skills in farming and my business. Though my agribusiness was affected with this pandemic due to logistics, but my farming is very okay because I'm able to serve my community where I am. I'm able to serve them with my farm produce. So to other farmers, I was able to encourage other farmers to go into this agri-business and families to grow their own food. So I think that is enough for the first question, which is insights on my personal experience. So how farmers are doing in this pandemic? I can say farmers are doing well and also they are doing bad, both. Why? Farmers that have digital presence, they are able to sell their produce well using digital platforms and groups. They're able to connect with other farmers to get input and all. But people that does not have online presence, they are very affected. So that is that for that. Okay. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So my group, Nigerian Young Farmers Group, and FAAN, Farming and Agricultural Network Group, the purpose of the group is to connect farmers, young farmers, existing farmers, all farmers, and people that want to go into agriculture, to learn, to mentor, to train, to source for the right business to go into. A lot of people want to go into agriculture but doesn't know where, like what to do. So in that group, we make sure you get training on how to go about everything. And another thing is, before you can start anything, you have to know more about it. So in our group, you get training from experienced farmer. Like me, for example, I get trainings from experienced farmers using that group. I don't have anybody here in my state to teach me, but I get people from other states. From there, I can teach my neighbors, my friends, and train people as well. So, and also I'll be talking about why other people should go into farming. Actually, I'm still a student and I'm into farming due to passion, not because I'm studying agriculture. I have a passion for it. That's another thing. But before I can go into anything, I have to know about it, but I didn't know anything about farming, even though I was studying agriculture. So I had to use my phone, my Android phone, to look for groups, to meet people, to connect with people, to train me. And how do I do that? I see people that really know about it and I DM them, message them, direct message, and they are going to train me. They trained me well so that I can even train some other people. That is what I use my own social media to do. I don't post anyhow. That is what I do. So to other farmers out there too, or people willing to go into agriculture, you can use your phone, your network, your internet to search for things. At times, Google doesn't really give us what we want. But if you can message a farmer, an experienced farmer, one-on-one, and ask, how do I go about it? Build a relationship with the person in the sense that the person will be willing to teach you anything. So that is my own advice. And I will encourage people to go into farming. Why? To end poverty, to increase economic growth. We all know that with anything you want to do in this life, you need to eat. And it starts from us. If you have a garden, you have a little space in your house, you turn it into a garden, you will be able to watch what you eat. That is another thing. You'll be able to watch what you eat. So once you are getting that, you save your money. Instead of you going out there to get vegetables that you don't even know how they produce it, you can harvest from your own home. And also you can serve your neighbors, you can serve your community. My training this is what I tell them. Just start little, then you having your own vegetable farm, you tell your neighbor, I have vegetables. If your neighbor have another thing, you can exchange. That's the food-scaping. You can exchange with it, or you sell for them. You are automatically solving a problem. So I will encourage you to go into farming. And we know that a lot of people in this Africa, they are small-scale farmers, and it starts from there. So if you're a small-scale farmer and you're planning to go big and you're thinking of how to get a market for your produce, you can easily go to your Facebook groups and ask, I have this. To meet farmers in this world, it's only Facebook you can use. Some farmers don't really use Instagram. Why? Because it's causing me a lot of data. So my target people are my Facebook fans. I don't go to Instagram to look for farmers. Farmers on Instagram are people that are of high level we get. So Facebook is very, very okay for marketing farm produce. And another thing you have to be aware of is scam. There are a lot of scammers there. That is where the branding comes in. If I want to get something from someone now, I'm going to check the person's page. If the person doesn't have a good profile, I'm not going to buy anything from the person. So farmers, aspiring farmers, our advice to go into farming to end poverty, to help the nation economy, to serve yourself and your family. So that is what I have to say about that. Sorry, I don't have a slide there due to some reasons, but I hope you're able to get or gain something from what I just say.
Yeah.
Hello?
Thank you, Habeebat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Habeebat. You don't have a slide. Yeah, you don't have a slide, but you actually said everything. In fact, what you've said is just enough to encourage every young person out there to go into. First of all, you're very young and you're passionate about agriculture. If you go to Habeebat's Facebook page, she keeps posting about ugu seed, vegetable seed, this one, a lot of things attracted us to her. And you're quite young and knowledgeable, and you're willing to share knowledge. And the group, these groups we're talking about, they are really good. Because if you join those groups, there's even one that talks about chicken, livestock, poultry farming in Nigeria. And if you go there, ask any question, people will just respond from nowhere, giving you guidance on what to do. So right now, I don't think the young ones don't have any excuse. Now, the young Habeebat is now telling you that you need to make the best out of the need around your own feeding, around your own kitchen and lifestyle by using your garden. Yeah, you don't need a large expanse of land. Then solving the problems within and around your community, exchanging goods, farm produce, selling in small quantities, from there you grow big. So I don't think anybody has an excuse now not to go into one form of small farming or agriculture or the other, just so that we can sustain food supplies in Africa. So thank you so much, Habeebat. If you're a farmer, you can also use this COVID-19 period, if you can't go to farm, to learn new skills, just like Habeebat has told us. She uses this time to learn new skills, to study. So all the platforms we talked about today, they also offer, technical skills about agriculture. The Facebook group, Babban, Gona, Nourishing, they can benefit from. So what's stopping us really? What's stopping us? You can questions. Any question? Magnus, is there any question in the background?
Yes, there are questions. There are 3 questions. If you want to take them.
Okay. Please help us take them, because I can't take them since I'm sharing my screen right now.
Okay, all right. So Habeebat, there are a couple of questions here for you. And you seem to be the youngest or newest kid on the block, as it were. The first one is from Joseph Ajeba. Are you there, Habeebat? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, yeah. So there are questions here for you, Habeebat.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay. The first question is from Joseph Ajeba, and he's saying, how has your group, Nigerian Young Farmers Group and FAAN, contributed to farmers within this period?
Okay, how NYF has helped farmers?
Yes.
Okay, NYF help farmer in mentorship. We have a mentorship program we run whereby you meet mentors, people that can mentor you on how to go about your farming or anything. And also you have opportunity to ask any question from any farmer. You just post it. I need, okay, for example, now I want to know about lettuce. I need training on lettuce. There are some people that will request for money or something, but there are some people that are going to teach you for free. So it's a free world over there. You can ask any question on anything. But we didn't have any program. We didn't add any program during the pandemic, specially made for people at home. No, we didn't do that. So,
but prior to COVID-19, were you guys having sessions and programs?
No, we didn't hold any session.
Okay. All right. The next question is from an anonymous attendee, and the question is, he or she has just asked that what are the challenges being faced by your group, and what efforts have you and your team put in place to curtail these challenges?
The challenge is most is scammers. We have a lot of people there. Therefore, the only thing we do mostly is to block them immediately. And before we can approve anybody, the person has to answer the requested questions. So once you don't answer your question, you get blocked or declined. So we are working towards the challenges, because it's very, very risky for our members, in which if they want to purchase something, they have to be careful on who to get things from. So me personally, as an agripreneur, if I'm selling anything through that platform, people really doubt me due to the way they've been scammed. So I try to convince them by directing them to my own personal profile, because my profile it's well branded. I post things about my business or programs I attend. So that is the only way. I don't know much. I don't have much to say about that. But we'll do more. We'll try to curb that, the scam part. That is the only challenge you're facing. That.
Okay, another. There are two more questions. There is one that says, do you have any plans of making your group official? I think it's official, but I think what this anonymous attendee is saying is it registered? Is it
not yet?
It's not yet. Okay. So, but is there plans to have it formally registered? Because one of the one of the things we also teach is when you build a brand, you need to secure your brand. Because if tomorrow I go and open up another group and I go to register it, I own that group and not you. If I create another group with your name, the group, and I register it, I have that brand, not you.
Okay, yes, I get you, sir.
Okay, all right. So then the last question, the questions are pouring, so please just bear with me and I'll help you attend to some. There's one other one from Kenya, Abeneme. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. I like Habeebat's viewpoint and knowledge shared. How can an aspiring agribusiness owner contact you for collaboration and further learning? So it's an opportunity for you to tell us, how people can reach you.
Okay, you can reach me through my email, bamidele@gmail.com. You can reach me through my Facebook group, my Facebook account, my Instagram, my Twitter. Everything Bamidele Habeebat.
Okay, so just to respond to that attendee properly, Habeebat's full name is Habeebat Bamidele. You can look her up on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can contact her. And her email address and LinkedIn. Yes. Her email address is habeebat.bamidele@gmail.com. Or you can contact us at clients@vi-m.com, and we'll point you or give you the necessary information to reaching her. there's a general question here, and I'll try so that Habeebat can catch her breath. The question here is for all the presenters: how can your business connect with agribusiness aspirants who live in the diaspora that intend to start and scale up their businesses? Can meetings be held virtually to learn more for startups? And I'll take that question so that all the other panelists can catch their breath. So the question is this: so if you're in diaspora and you want to invest, yes, we can hold a virtual meeting. If you send us an email at clients is clients at vi-m.com, or you look up any one of us, any of the panelists that is here today on social media. If you type the word Going Digital Nigeria on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you will be directed, or you will get a connection to contact VM, and we can organize an online meeting. If you want to, if you're planning to invest in the north, you can also contact Babban. If you have plans to do anything anywhere else, Nourish Africa is there, and VM is there to assist you, ensure that yes, your business is structured, yes, your business is correctly registered, yes, you have the necessary financial documents in the event that you want to acquire some local funding or get a grant from any of the other donor agencies, like you've heard some of our presenters today. And I hope we've done justice to that. I don't know if Vivian or if Adaeze wants to add anything there. Adaeze, Vivian?
No, you're right. You're spot on. Thank you.
Yeah, nothing else to add. I completely agree with.
Okay. So another two questions. Do you have partners who would you want to partner with any organization if given the opportunity? I'm not sure how to respond to that question. The question is, do you have partners, or would you want to partner with any organization if given the opportunity? The answer is yes for everybody. One of the things we do at VM is we tend to collaborate. We try not as much as possible to reinvent the wheel, and I'm sure the people at Babban and at Nourish Africa and even Habeebat would also be willing to look at any partnership arrangement. The major thing is, as long as you're not a scammer, as long as that arrangement is beneficial, it has to be symbiotic in nature, so that it's beneficial to both yourselves and to the would-be partners. So yes, there's opportunity for collaboration and partnership across board for everybody. The last question here is, I must commend your efforts so far, but who is the founder of this group, and how can one reach him or her? So I think that question is to you, Habeebat.
Okay, the founder of Nigerian Young Farmer, Joseph Ajegbe. Yes, you can reach him on Facebook through that name, Joseph Ajegbe.
I think he also joined us today.
Yeah, I think Joseph.
Yes, he's also part of us there.
So Joseph, Vivian, if Joseph is still online, can we admit him? I think he spoke earlier today.
Yes,
No.
yes. You can admit stuff.
Joseph Ajagba.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Joseph. So can you just admit him so that he says hello, so that people know he's not a robot?
Okay.
So then we're done with the questions. If there are further questions, please post them here. Vivian, I yield back to you.
Okay. So Joseph, I'm allowing you to talk and I'm muting you too. So please join us and say hello. Hello, Joseph, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Joseph.
Hello.
My name is Joseph.
You need to come close to your mic. You're very low. Come closer to your mic.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a bit better, but you still need to do a bit more.
All right.
Just speak louder.
My name is Joseph Ajegba. I'm the founder and admin with Nigerian Young Farmers Group. So you can reach me on my Facebook page or my Facebook or on Joseph or you can send a video directly to me on josephmarius03@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Joseph, and well done on the work you're doing with that group and for helping all the young farmers there. Thank you, Magnus. So Magnus, in the absence of any more questions for now, Magnus will do a wrap up. So like we said earlier, this is the 7th section, the webinar series finale, 7 out of 7, and we're thankful to God and every other person who has supported us. So Magnus is going to do a wrap up to take us through all the panelists and give vote of thanks and pay tribute to all of them who have been with us for this past 7 weeks. So Magnus, please go ahead and do justice to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian. I must say it's been a very, very interesting 7 weeks. Every week we've always looked forward to every Wednesday, 12 o'clock, ensuring that our slides, our panelists, the communication is going out, and so on and so forth. And it's very important to note that we've really received tremendous support from very great and noble and global brands, both within Africa and a couple of them from outside of Africa. So on the 3rd, this webinar series actually started on the 3rd of June. And on the 3rd of June, just like today, where we have 3 beautiful ladies, on 3rd of June, we had 3 handsome men. And the first of them was Iyolua Aboyeji, the co-founder, Future Africa, Andela, and Flutterwave. And in this session, and we also had a representative, the director from the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, and in person of Orihu Iho Otejeri, and Marcus Rose from Zero Accounting. These men were able to do justice to our debut session, which is going digital. I mean, and this idea of going digital was born out of the need to ensure that businesses that were beginning to suffer can tend to begin to get 1 or 2 lights and begin to do 1 or 2 things in place with the hope that towards the end of this year or sometime in the near future, their business can thrive, can scale, and they can basically survive the pandemic. So kudos to Ihi, kudos to Iho, and kudos to Marcus for being the first panelist lineup that we had in the debut session on the 3rd of June. And their brands are notable brands across board. We all know what Lagos State does. We've received a couple of payments, and made payments using the Flutterwave app. And Zero, and like we hear when Vivian does her own closing, you will see some of the slight features of some of the things that we at VM Professional Solution does. So next slide, please. Okay, then because it's a weekly session, so after the 3rd of June, we had the next one. And Vivian coincidentally was the first moderator. So thank you, Vivian. You were the first moderator in the first debut session. And luckily for you, you are the moderator in our season finale. I was privileged to be the moderator and host of the 2nd session. And the topic of that session was e-commerce outlook for Nigerian MSME. Like we've heard today when Habeebat and Ifi and Adaeze did speak, one of the key things in our country today is that businesses need to be online. So one of the things we also try to review in the 2nd session was what are the available platforms for businesses to take their goods, to take their products, to take their services, to take their activities online. And in that 2nd session, we're joined by Jeffrey Williams of Interswitch, is the group head merchant acquiring. We also had Stuart Bronkowski, who joined us from Cape Town, far away South Africa. He's the head of strategic partnership at Paystack. We had my very good friend, Kartik Raichura. He's the CEO and co-founder of websites.co.in. Again, far away India, and he was almost like 4 or 5 hours, time difference with us. He had to stay awake to be able to join some of our activities. Then, lastly, on that day, we had Paul Itanwansa, who recently also retired from the Delta State IRS. One thing you will see in the first two sessions was that we also tried to ensure that we bring the revenue authorities closer, because everything that we do in this country today, like you would have heard, the FIRS, the various state inland revenue, whatever you do, everybody's looking and monitoring to make sure that as you're making money, you're paying your taxes. And like we heard today, we need to make sure that our business is correctly structured. Our business needs to be different from our personal activities, meaning that for every profit that you make, there is a tax. Tax is not on your capital. Tax is on the profit that you made. And the profit is after you've even deducted all your attributable expenses. So you need to make sure that you have proper books of records so that when the tax man comes, you'll be able to present a worthy account and position your business for any funding that you probably have. So these men were able to talk to us on what it takes for us to be able to take our business to the cloud, what available platforms we need, platforms like Paystack, platforms like Shopify, and Vivian did do a small intro into Shopify because the people from Shopify were unable to join at the last minute. So, and we also looked at, you need a website to be able to connect some of your activities. And there were discussions on that day along the lines where people now start receiving payments even from using Instagram. So social media platforms can also be seen as some form of an e-commerce platform. And it's important for any business as little as possible to get into using social media platform. So following on that, the next week again, Vivian did assist us, which is on the 17th of June. And we also did have support again from InterSwitch. They volunteered to support us in the second session and in the third session. So on the third session, we looked at going digital retail, because retail is also in the heart of what we do on a daily basis. So people are always buying and selling. People are always looking for what to buy, where to spend. So we had Adaeze, who is the head corporate transformation at Health Plus. Health Plus is a chain of pharmaceutical stores across Lagos and several other places. We have Inalebu Alogu, who is group head Dev Digital from InterSuite. And we also had Peter Magna, sales and marketing director from Iridium Business Solutions, again, also from South Africa. And here we're able to delve into what, other activities that retail businesses need to do. How do you structure your business? What tools do you need? How to go about ensuring that you position your business more. We drew insight as to what Health Plus is doing that has made them successful. And there were hard decisions that some of these businesses had to take in view of COVID-19. So one thing that resounded from this session was that people should not be afraid to take the necessary hard decision. Next slide, please. Then following on that, like you all know, it's every Wednesday. So the next Wednesday was the 24th of June. I was privileged to moderate this session, and we had Dr. Mrs. Titilayo Fowokon, who is the group head, strategic tax and compliance at Dangote Industries Limited. We had Emmanuel Obi, the business and sales manager from Oracle NetSuite, and Daniel D'Souza, who is also a pre-sales senior special solution consultant, also from Oracle NetSuite. What we tried to do on the 24th of June was to explore and spotlight the enterprise business with particular emphasis to wholesale line of business, people who are involved in some large commercial activities. And Titilayo drew our attention, importantly, to the need to ensure that regardless of your size, business needs to embrace technology. And on that day, we looked at the Oracle solution, who is one of our partners, that this can mirror to begin to understand some of the things that they do. It was a very long discussion because we also had to go do a bit deep dive into a few of the Oracle solution that was on display on that day. Then the following week, which is the 1st of July, luckily for us, the first day of the first month of this month, 1st of July, we also had our Going Digital manufacturing session. And our Vivian, co-founder and partner, was the moderator and host on that day. And it was a very interesting and inspiring day, as you see with the color of on the team and the beautiful face and the handsome faces of the men who were our panelists on that day. We had the acting director of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria join us, Ambrose Oluche. We also had a prof in faraway US. Again, time zone difference. He also assisted us, even though he's in Nigeria, but he's also lives and works, or is based in the US. And in person of Professor Onubisi Ekekwe, he's the founder and chairman of Zenfus and Fast Micro Group. And we had our friends and partners from Oracle, Chidedun Kuchoma, the business and sales manager, and Samuel Oagu, senior solution consultant from Oracle. And on this day, we did try to look at what the Manufacturers Association are doing to support manufacturing business. And it was important to note that one of the key things that came out that day was the fact that the Manufacturers Association are not just sitting on their hands. They are busy actively engaging. And one of the key stakeholders for them is the government and the relevant government agencies. We had insights and information along the line that when finished goods were produced and were being moved from point A to point B, they were being held up unduly, even though the government have given clear directives to our security agencies on the road to ensure that certain kinds of trucking activities containing essential goods should be allowed to move, but there were hindrances. Prof talked to us about the challenges in Nigeria and the fact that we need not wait for government for us to be able to innovate and drive ways. We also looked at the various Oracle solutions on display on that day, and there were lots of questions and answers and insights that were brought into what manufacturing was doing. The following day, the following week, which is the 8th of July, I came back again, and we now talked about going digital human resources. And on this day, we had a mixed breed. So we had beautiful ladies, Sandra Swanopel, who is a former colleague of mine in my prior life. She's currently the managing director for Space. We had Ukinebo Dare, who is the managing director for Edo Skills. We had Innocent Osege, managing partner for Human Capital Partners, and David Brown, the founding and managing partner for D. Brown Consulting. And it was important to note because we're exploring one of the key resource area of businesses, which is human resources. We needed to look for a relevant body that can give us, concrete insights into the activities of employers. And we're able to get the Nigerian Employers Consultative Forum in attendance, and they were being represented by Olusola Ayodeji, the chief economist. On this day, we explored, what payroll solutions is available, what digital tools people can use. We looked at what is happening in Edo State, a case study of Edo jobs, what they are doing to try and create jobs for the indigenes and the people in Edo State, and what other states governments in the federation can emulate to ensure what other state governments can emulate to ensure that they continue to keep their youth active. Innocent Osege did a wonderful job for us on that day when he highlighted the need for talent and how talent can position themselves to win jobs. Because of COVID-19, businesses are no longer doing face-to-face interviews. Some are doing video interviews. Some are doing recorded interviews. Candidates have got to ensure that your CV, your documentation, your packaging is right and suits the application. David Brown gave us a beautiful insight as to a research that his friend and 3 groups of his have done with regards to working from home. And the information that he shared, I want to encourage all our attendees and anybody who will listen to this recording later to please pay particular attention to the recording of that day to get insight into the indices of working at home. Olusola again highlighted some of the things that his association is doing to support employers in the Nigerian business. And finally, today, I don't know if I should give a comment, but today is the last day, season finale, where we had 3 beautiful ladies in conjunction with my partner Vivian to crown the whole Going Digital series with Going Digital Agriculture. And today we're able to understand the role of what Nourishing Africa is doing, what Babban, I've always heard about that name. I don't know what they do until I started researching and preparing for this webinar. And our young and hard-working Bamidele Habeebat, who happens to be in faraway Ilorin, where I also had my youth service some couple of years back. I'm not sure of the exact year. I don't want to give off my exact age, but I did serve in Ilorin. And today we spotlighted the agricultural sector, and we looked at what businesses need to do, digital tools that have to be in place, why your business needs to structure, funding is key, what you need to do to ensure funding. And guys, that's the entire value chain or service chain or life chain of the entire webinar, depending on how you want to call it. So we want to thank all of these panelists, their respective names. We want to appreciate all of their brands, both the Nigerian brands, the South African brands, the Indian brands, the brands in the US, the brands in the UK, all the brands that have partnered with us, even those that we've gone to, even the government agencies that we've approached to say, we need you to come on board and come and share your view that have turned us down. We want to appreciate each and every one of them. We will not be in this milestone without your support. Thank you very much. And we hope that we all continue to stay safe. We hope that we all continue to do well and that our respective businesses will grow and we will survive COVID-19. Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you, Magnus. Magnus, you've been talking about other people's profiles. We've been introducing panelists and talking about other people. Magnus, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so you all know me. My name is Magnus Nmonwu. I'm a co-founder, or rather I'll just say I'm a partner and a trustee with the VM Professional Solution. Vivian did found this firm when I was in paid employment, and when I left paid employment, I had to come back and to join her to grow our own business. I'm an entrepreneur, basically. I have experience in information technology, tax, business, and financial consulting activities. I have over 20 years experience having worked in a manufacturing consulting firm, KPMG, and I also was the head of Sage Software Nigeria as a regional director responsible for Nigeria and Ghana. And Sage is basically an accounting software where we deal with accounting, deployment of accounting solution, outsourcing, and other related services. My fields of practical experience includes taxation, payroll and human resources, and business software solutions, especially in the area of payroll, accounting, human resources, customer relations management, and all other ERP solutions. I also have extensive experience in consulting for manufacturer, multinational and national companies in areas of personal income tax planning, compliance, pay-as-you-earn, regulations, tax audit engagements, be it state, be it federal. There is no state inland revenue in the country that I've not had to deal with because of my work. I assist in planning and administration of pension and provident funds. I provide business support, development and deployment services, consulting and outsourcing services, international executive and expatriate tax services. So, we have a lot of expatriates coming into Nigeria, and their tax implications likely has a bit of peculiarity that the expertise reside in a few. I also assist with arrival and tax briefing, immigration advisory, and consulting related engagement. I've written articles and publications in both local and international journals. I've trained over 2,500 plus MSMEs and several large business owners on entrepreneurship and effective use of business software solutions, understanding and navigating personal and expatriate tax challenges. I have served in several speaker capacity in workshops, seminars, clinics, and radio programs on business software and other tax-related topics. I continue to impact lives by mentoring and supporting business owners, like you see with the webinar we're doing around this time, both micro, small, and medium businesses, employees, and individuals on business issues, leadership management, tax, information technology, and software related services. Simply put, I understand what it takes to conduct or do your business in Nigeria, and with the support of VM, we're assisting a number of clients, we're assisting a number of individuals to ensure that their business is firmly rooted and they can navigate at the complexity and the challenges of working in Nigeria. Basically, anything along that line, the expertise beside us. Thank you very much, Vivian, for this time. And more importantly, before you take it, we also have, because someone is going to ask a question, what do you mean by trustee? So we have a crowdfunding platform called MSME Crowdfunding Foundation. And on that foundation, I'm a trustee, Vivian is a trustee. And what we basically do is we conduct skill training, we do crowdfunding, and we do hand-holding, only to support businesses. If you're sick or you need help to go to school, you need funding, we do not crowdfund to support that. All we do is to crowdfund anyone who has got a business idea, who wants to go into business, and who already has a business and want to scale. So our foundation is only there to support businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Magnus. So I'm now going to take my own profile. So Magnus is my partner, my co-trustee, and my husband. I and Magnus, we have 4 children together, 2 girls and 2 boys. And
wow!
Thank you. Oh, that's a surprise.
Wow! Oh my God. I'm surprised. Wow.
I would say we went to the same kind of school. And when I talk about school, I mean consulting. So I cumulatively have over 12 years of experience in consulting and in bank, and then 6 years, that's a 5 years plus now at VM. So I am a fellow of ICANN, and I'm a CITN member. And working in consulting gives you opportunity for training and working across teams, both nationally and internationally. So we did a whole lot of, brain cracking innovations, leading market segments, leading new products and services. And I was really opportune to be part of, there was a special group that Deloitte brought out. Deloitte was the last firm I worked with before I founded VM. And we called ourselves working as one cross-functional team, a team made up of champions, respective champions of the different service lines of the firm. Each one of us, I represented tax, and we needed to work together across functions to be able to develop new products and then cross-pollinate ideas among our teams, and then identify cross-functional selling opportunities. So we worked together a lot. We pioneered a lot of things. I, for one, I led the tax solutions for the IFRS conversion stage when it was, through 2011 to 2013. I led the tax team on the IFRS conversion. And then I also joined the transfer pricing team as well during 2014, end of 2013, 2014, where we also pioneered the transfer pricing solutions when it was actually new in Nigeria. And we've had opportunity for training across board, working across functions, financial advisory, audit, IFRS faculty, tax, did mergers and acquisitions, did a whole lot of tax audits, indirect and direct taxes, personal tax, company tax. We focused on consumer business, manufacturing. Then during the IFRS conversion, we focused on banks. So we worked with a lot of banks, a lot of big firms, large firms, manufacturing, consumer business, and then some tech companies. The tech companies were not as popular as they are right now. So it was, we had to develop a solution for MSMEs then. So we started, okay, let's even see how we can reach out to them and train them. So we started engaging some churches like Mountain of Fire, later day or later, I can't remember the name, sorry. So some churches like that, Pentecostal churches, and then we went, and then it was overwhelming. The turnout of MSN is a covenant capital, yes. That was the first place we went to, Covenant Christian Center. So the turnout was overwhelming. Like we saw that people actually have need. They wanted to learn about tax. So it was from there that the idea to found VM was born, because we kept going from church to church, and I'm like, what's the solution? And Magnus was already in stage, heading the Sage office, and they were into tech. So I'm like, can tech meet consulting? So that was how VM was born. And I felt that if tech should meet consulting, it would help us to reach out to numberless people at the same time, instead of going from place to place, and people can tap in, and then gain access. So we did quite a lot of training. I also championed at VM, we got engaged by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and I championed the weekly tax discourse. We did tax publications every week to enlighten Nigerians, especially small businesses. The same thing I was doing just before we left Deloitte was what we replicated for FRS, so that people can read it on the newspaper and also read online in the Guardian newspaper to understand week by week what taxes apply, how does it apply to, and it was good while it lasted. And I thank FRS for giving us that opportunity. We placed our business or our firm at a niche position. And then we have also worked with tax officials. I've had the opportunity to train tax officials on different occasions, numbering at over 300, on understanding financial statements and IFRS. When I say IFRS, I mean International Financial Reporting Standards. That we've been training MSMEs, in different places. I don't even know the number. I just said 2,500 plus because I don't know the number. At the time, I was running programs on the radio on Inspiration FM on tax. Every Wednesday, then I would come on Work Wednesday and then talk about tax. And then the response was also overwhelming. People needed to learn about tax. Then we partnered with the Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos in 2017, thereabouts, to train MSMEs on tax and business skills, business process improvement and all. So that's how we transitioned from, working for other people to founding our own firm, so we can continue to solve problems where our passion lies. So I'm also a trustee at the MSME Crowdfunding Foundation, something that also came up from several trainings we were running. People also were always from transitioning from the need to gain advisory or technical insight into their businesses. They just wanted funding, and we're like, how are we going to fund all these people? We do some forms of charity, I and Magnus, at some point or the other, but not to contain a house full or a hall full of small businesses. Some of them needed just 50,000 naira. So we thought about crowdfunding, and crowdfunding was already reigning in the Western world, Kickstarter and the likes. And we said, okay, let's even build a platform. And to confess, before we were able to get solutions on crowdfunding for that will work in Africa, like people can come and do their own campaigns. We didn't want to be a funnel for anything. We just wanted everything to be, transparent. So if you go to the website, you will see a lot of zero campaigns, because nobody is allowed to change anything from the back end or any manipulation whatsoever. So people come in, set up their campaigns. All we do is make sure that we guide them, as much as we can. People are still learning these things, we need to guide them on how to even create good campaigns and launch it. So when your campaign is successfully launched, it's transparent to the world what you have raised. You get an email notification once you get any 1 naira or anything. So that was our solution to the funding issues. So that's why we registered it under a foundation, because it wasn't meant to, be something that will make profit from. It was our own way of trying to give back. But VM also has, the mandate to make sure that businesses that receive funding there keep and when the platform begins to thrive as it should, we will use that funding, you know, to do business. So we're going to guide them, and they have to also budget with their crowdfunding platform, budget for that guidance, because nobody is going to leave his or her work to do something for VM for one whole year and holding somebody in the north, in the east, because those are where the campaigns are actually coming from, and you're not going to remunerate the person. So that's just about MSME Crowdfunding Foundation, www.fundandenterprise, fundandenterprise.org. So that's about me. We're now going to talk about VM in more details. I gave some filters about how VM came about and what VM has been doing. Magnus also pointed in that area. So VM is a technology-focused tax audit and advisory services firm, like, you know, mixing technology and consulting together to serve more people, to make it more affordable, to make things more flexible, and to deliver effectiveness. So VM was the first professional services firm in Nigeria to be engaged by the Federal Inland Revenue Service to write and educate taxpayers through publications in the newspaper, and also the first to partner with Adaeze of Lagos to work with MSMEs and to train them on business advisory and tax skills. And then we developed our first product was actually Tax Assist, vmtaxassist.com. It was a solution to help small businesses to see how it all plays out. When you talk about VAT, withholding tax, PAYE, payroll, pay slips, Tax Assist can also give you pay slips for small businesses. They log in and see how it plays out. You see the calculators, you just put in your numbers, and then it runs the calculations for you, tells you the rates of withholding tax, where to pay to. You can even click a button and pay through remitter through the website. So many small businesses benefited from it, but I don't know if the timing was right, because at some point people started saying, is this LRS way of getting us into the tax net? Is this FRS? So we were able to help like 2,600, over 2,600 or about people who subscribe and are using the platform. But right now the platform is undergoing a major upgrade because, you know, through learning and through experience, we need to upgrade it to be at par with the type of quality we're trying to put up. So Tax Law Book is the first compendium of tax laws in a mobile app to make it easy for people to access, read, and understand the Nigerian tax laws. You know, during my last month's Deloitte, first of all, when you join consulting and you're in the tax function, you have to carry a Bible, and your Bible are the tax laws in one huge book, and you have to study it. You know, I had a boss that anytime he's doing a meeting and you're with him, he expects you to give him the name and number of the sections in the tax laws. Yeah, I owned up that I couldn't do it. It was too much wrong. All I needed to know is there's a provision in the law somewhere under the CIT that says this. That was enough for me, and it was already too much work. So in our journey to teach tax and to train people to develop materials, we needed something handy too. And we needed to also make it handy for other people to say, why don't we collapse this whole book into a mobile app that people can search and say, okay, section 1 of CITA, what is it? And it takes you straight there. You talk about Pioneer, search for it, you know, so it's an easy way. So that's how Tax Law Book app came about. It's available on the Google stores and the iOS store. It has also been upgraded, you know, from where we started. And by the time we finish the upgrade on VM Tax Assist, we're going to merge it to the Tax Law Book, the app. So it becomes a one-stop tool for businesses, for finance professionals, for students as well. We're going to be having a whole lot of learning materials, ebooks and courses and stuff, and then calculators as well. And we have a number of them, but you know, development is ongoing. So please watch that can also download the tax law book now. It has more than enough materials to, to help any business and any professional already before we finish the upgrade. So when you download, it's free. The in-app purchase is also very affordable. When you open it, you have loads and loads and loads of tax material, and you only pay for that in-app purchase once for the lifetime. We are covered under any updates or upgrades. So we also have, vmtalentassist.com. VM Talent Assist has now been upgraded as well to be a talent platform where people can search, post jobs, do recruitment process, hire, interview. Everything is online from your dashboard. Applicants, candidates can apply through the platform, and you can interview them. You see the number of applications there, communicate real time, share files on the platform. So it's also a good tool for talents and employer, talent seeking employment and talent in business to meet and connect. And we, took time to put a whole lot of things to make it a one-stop shop for talent. So we give you learning materials, you are able to showcase your skills, your CV. If you want, we can feature you on the homepage, especially, do all the, branding on the homepage to feature you. But it comes at a fee. You can also advertise your job on the homepage, it comes at a fee. We have relationship segments where we advise young people, talent about relationships. We have career part segments where I share my stories and my experiences for other young women out there, because it has always been a question for me that when young women ask me, Vivian, how are you doing it? With 4 children, how are you doing it? And then the house help wahala. In fact, what I always say is just take it one day at a time. That's it, and be happy. When you want to be happy, be happy. Don't let anything restrict your happiness. When I want to fight, I fight, fight like no other. So I can ease off the emotions, and continue what I'm doing, and God is very, very faithful, up to now. So VM Talent has all that. If you go to the website, vi-mtalent.com, you see everything it has to offer. Then the crowdfunding website, which is under the MSME Crowdfunding Foundation, is fundandenterprise.org. That one is also helpful. And we partner with a whole lot of, accounting software companies, because we're not, a fan of reinventing a wheel that's already working perfectly. So we have several partnerships with different accounting software and ERP companies, payroll companies, anyone you want, anyone that we profile your business first, and then we find the one that is suitable for you. We also help you do content writing for your website, because we're consultants, and we help you to write your content and even design your website, or help you to get a store on Shopify. And then we have Zero Accounting. We have Wave Apps, which is free for those asking questions about how to go about bookkeeping. Wave Apps is free, or VM can train you on how to use it. Then we have QuickBooks, we have Sage One, we have Sage Products, we have Oracle NetSuite ERP systems, we have PaySpace, Human Resource Management, we have FreshBook. In fact, practically all the notable accounting software. We will have to profile your business to know which one that is suitable for you, and also profile your budget to know what you can afford, and then we recommend. So that we also help businesses to get a proper structure, like the agricultural businesses you're talking about. We've registered quite a number. Over the lockdown, we registered up to 7 new businesses. And even now, even before this webinar, somebody called to say, I want to register my business. Is it business name or company? First of all, you have to advise. They're not paying for the advice. You now have to ask, what do you intend to do? What's your long-term plan? Okay, go for this, go for that, which is a value addition we're offering before we register the business. So you guide the entrepreneur, the startup business, right from scratch. So over 41 million businesses, MSMEs, in Nigeria are not registered. Where are thou? Where are you guys? Come through to VM. We will help you. Okay. So people were also asking us about, the webinars. Okay, for instance, I belong to a group that is Lady Realtors Group. I don't think, I think they were waiting for me to say, okay, this is going digital real estate, which we never got around to doing, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't part of the industry focus over the weeks. So we had to merge several industries and talk about them, under different topics. So the first one on going digital successfully, it was focused on all industries, all business sectors. During that time there was a hype about digitizing business processes, digitizing sales, human resources, because of the social distance that the COVID-19 brought about. And also the importance of business numbers. We ourselves at VM, not because of the COVID-19, we have always, been telling people, your accounting process, your financial reporting, your business data, you need to use a tool that can help you, a digital tool. So it cut across all industry sectors, and it was titled Going Digital Successfully for those people who were not familiar with digitization or what it entailed. So VM can also help, on the industry focus, we have solutions, we have accounting and ERP software solutions, not developed by VM, but we partner with third parties because we cannot reinvent the wheel. No one does it better than the specialists. We have the tax law book app, which I've mentioned, to help the tax function of businesses. We have VM Talent Assist for SMEs and other talents, generally applicants for job. We have advisory services and software recommendations, which we have done quite a lot. We have online training courses and ebooks on finance, bookkeeping, tax. We keep running these trainings. Even if you go to our website, you see available ones. Then we offer traditional tax audit and business services. And then, of course, people can use our crowdfunding to raise funds. All we need to do is ensure you have a proper structure for the funds to thrive, and ensure that you know how to raise campaign and you're not just raising it and using your business as a front. Meanwhile, you actually need money to buy a car or to buy food. So for the farmers in our midst today, or those in agriculture, we can also help you register your business, because a large number of micro businesses are playing in that sector and they're not registered. And then help you to figure out a way. There are special accounting packages which are small and affordable for farmers. If you're in livestock, if you're in crop farming, you have those software, cloud-based, that you can use on your phone as well to help you track your farm produce. And if your estimates are not as, at ongoing estimates, you re-estimate, you examine your livestock, your crops, what will I have? You keep changing it on the software and keep tracking the numbers. And then you have a good accounting financial report in case you need funding, just like our speakers have noted. So these are solutions that VM has for that focus. Then the second one, e-commerce outlook for MSME. We targeted MSMEs who were seeking to start selling online or on social media or via websites. We just needed websites. Now, I talked earlier about how VM can help you write good content for your website, or get a small website that is based on like GoDaddy, for instance, or website.co. You don't need any knowledge of software or you don't need to have a developer to do that kind of website or e-commerce store. If you base it on Shopify, which is already an existing platform, all you need to do is put your content there, rebrand it, and you're live. You can even finish it in 1 hour if you already have your content. Just upload and you're live on the web. So we also have accounting solutions that can integrate with e-commerce websites or your own websites into the accounting software and into the payroll software as well, end to end. And it can also integrate with CRM or any other software by the side that you want to integrate. We have them and we can help you to do end-to-end integration. So you watch your numbers live and you account for them and you make sure your stock of goods are not lost and all other controls. Then the tax logbook app is always helpful for any kind of business. That day we had someone, a tax man, come to talk to us about how government will intensify effort to make sure that the digital economy is properly taxed. So if you don't have something to help yourself or to even understand what you're doing, like the tax logbook app, if you're selling online, someone might just come after you and tell you you're owing this amount of tax, come and pay. What are you going to do? And the beauty of the app is you can ask us any question from there and we will answer you. You can ask questions from there. You can book a service from there. It's very easy. Just like you're accessing the laws and the resources, the treaties, the circular, whatever it is, you open it, they're all there. You can access whatever you don't understand, you ask us and we'll respond. Then we have online training services as well and software recommendation services. Then the third section was on going digital retail for retailers generally, everyone doing retail, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, hospitality, even though they are not quite open now. But if you're in retail and you want to automate the process, at least to put controls to make sure you're not losing stock, to make sure that people selling for you at the cashiers, you have an automated system and even the procurement managers that everyone keys into. So if you're running a large chain of business, retail business, we have ERPs. If you're running just one or two stores, we have accounting software that also have inbuilt CRM that can connect to e-commerce in case you want to sell online and offline as well, and we can help you. If your business is not registered, we can help you register. Point of sale software, payment gateway integrations, tax help. If you want to set up your software, because in this era of value-added tax, if you're selling and your people don't even know what VAT applies to, what value-added tax applies to, and what it does not apply to, you might end up running into problems, which we have seen in practice many times with the tax authorities. And if you're keeping a manual system as a retailer, all these shops and stores that we see around, they just keep a manual record. It's going to be very tedious for you. You lose cash. Unless you have like a sister or brother who is there, who really loves you, or you always be there. You never go on vacation. You never close, but it's very, very tedious. If you automate things will run even when you're not there. And it's cloud. We're using cloud-based systems, so you can even monitor. Some people were locked out of their businesses. They're still in the US up till now, but they can monitor with their cloud-based software what is being sold, what each user is doing, set up the tax on each item, where is tax exempt to set up. So that's what VM will do and does in that area. So the other one, the next one, going digital, large businesses, multinationals, conglomerates, construction companies, hospitals, schools, for those that are still doing anything. That was the industry focus. Wholesalers large distributors with large supply chains. We tried to see if there were things that could be said or done, or expert tips, that can help, even though digitization may not help with everything. For instance, you're clearing goods and government needs to, examine the goods, clear you pay customs duty. Sometimes those goods will be there for weeks, nobody to even do any inspection for you, and you'll be paying demurrage and all that. So you cannot digitize government. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. So we tried to see if there were solutions. But what VM will do, in line with our own business activities, will be to help you to deploy enterprise resource planning solution. That's ERP or human resource management solution to help you. Oracle NetSuite, they displayed, that day they came live, so everybody saw what, what they could do, what it can help you also coordinate your teams from anywhere. So if you need help in that area, VM can support you, can give you traditional tax audits and business support. And then the tax law book is good for your tax function. And then those tax authorities, they are getting very aggressive now, even with the stamp duty. You never know where, you're falling short and liabilities are accumulating. Then the next one was going digital manufacturing, targeted at all sizes of manufacturing businesses. So VM also has software solutions for large manufacturers. Then you also have, for small businesses, you have other accounting tools that you have Katana, Connect with Zero. It's very good for manufacturers, smaller manufacturers. Manufacturers can also try to crowdfund their projects or enterprises through fundandenterprise.org. So people need to believe in crowdfunding, really. Really, when does a small business get to qualify for loans in Nigeria? We have to be practical about it. A small business that is struggling to survive, when do you start building wealth? You need to start building wealth through savings, through investments, before you can even qualify to have a collateral to be able to access loans. So let's not deceive ourselves. Small businesses in Nigeria is very hard. You have to get to medium business, before you are able to access at least small business in the category. But most of us SMEs in Nigeria were micro, were small. So at the stage of micro and small, you're not entitled to a loan because you don't have the collateral, unless you're going to apply for small micro loans, 100,000, 200,000, something. But if you're going to apply for something that will be reasonable, you need collateral. And if people trust each other to crowdfund, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 here, somebody already has 10 million, 20, and is a lifesaver for the small business, as long as they're able to demonstrate that they are real and genuine. So that's the beauty of crowdfunding for the African market, actually. So we have Going Digital Human Resources. That was last week. And we had panelists that gave us deep insights into this. The professionals in real core HR professionals. So industry focus, all businesses, all employers and employees. And then VM has VM Talent Assist for talents. VM has HRM and payroll software solutions. Just contact us. Then the tax law book, you absolutely need it to be able to manage employee taxes and other social security like pension. Then traditional HR and payroll related services, online courses, the ongoing live courses, actually recorded ones, e-learning, e-books, they're all here at VM. And then for talent that wish to crowdfund, fundandenterprise.org. Then the last one for today, I've already mentioned VM solutions that are available. Accounting software meant for the farming business, those in agribusiness. So tailored to them, not just something that you can adapt. It's something that helps you to make your farming business more effective. You have the mobile app version, you have the cloud-based version online. As you're chatting on Facebook or on WhatsApp, you can always access your things and put them online. It's more effective and it's very affordable. So you can contact us for training on finance, management, bookkeeping. We run these trainings, tax and the likes, HR and the likes. So if you're into agribusiness and you feel you're too small to afford these services, try these software solutions, they're affordable. So that's just what VM has to offer to all the industries that we've covered. And then again, all the videos are available. So everyone can always go to YouTube. YouTube is free, so you don't have to pay to rewatch the video. You go there, always, look at the ideas that our panelists give and help yourself or help your business. You can watch at any time. So to contact VM Professional Solutions, our website is www.vm.com, clients@vm.com. That's our general email for all client inquiries. And then these numbers on the screen, you can contact me or Magnus via these numbers. We're the principal partners. And then we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. So anyhow you want to contact us anytime, anywhere, just drop us a message and we'll get it and respond to you. We're here after 7 weeks and we say thank you to God, first of all, for making it possible for us to pull through to the end. To all our speakers and panelists, you need to watch all the record. You really need to watch all the recordings for you to know the quality of insights given for any industry. In fact, when you watch the video, you will testify to what I'm talking about. So we're glad to have made an impact in our own little way, through this series. We're glad for all the people who registered, and majority of them may not have been on today's session, but they were there all through registering, and being part of the community. So they are going to all watch the videos at their convenience. So all our speakers and panelists, especially today, we thank you, all our attendees from anywhere you are. We say a big thank you as we now bring the Going Digital Nigeria webinar series 7 in 7 to an official close. So I am very proud to have been one of the originators and organizers of this program. And Magnus, my partner, it's been very hectic. Don't mind what plays out in the 1 or 2 hours of the webinar. Behind the screen, the scenes, it's very hectic, but we're glad. Thank you so much, everyone. So Magnus, your parting words.
All right, guys. This is the seventh month of the year. We're still alive. That means we've made profit. I want to encourage everyone who can hear me. Let's continue to collaborate. Help will only come when you are able to help the other person, because then someone will think about you and also help you. But one of the most important things that will get us through these trying times, it's making sure that our business is out there and our business can function without us physically being there, but we can monitor what is happening. So, but let's continue to collaborate. Let's ask questions. Let's look at various ways to do things easier, and let's help one another. Let's stay safe, and all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, and bye-bye to everyone.
Bye, guys. Everyone.
Bye.